This is just a short review video in order to go through the way that you would graph when you're not given a equation. This is just going to make a small part of the test up tomorrow, so I just wanted to cover it just so nobody could say that I didn't, and just so you're aware of it. So in the other videos, we had something like y equals 3x squared or whatever plus blah 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 blah, right? And then we could find the first derivative and stuff like that, and then we could do our tests and we could use that in order to graph. That's all fine and dandy. For this, we do not have the equation, but we do have a few things. We have a completed first derivative test, right? So this is our first derivative test completed for us, actually. We have our second derivative test completed for us. So that's awesome. So we can look here, we got positive increasing, negative decreasing, negative, so that would be decreasing, positive up, negative decreasing, sorry, not decreasing, that would be down, right? Because in the second derivative, it's down. And then increasing, why I really messed this up, it would be positive, up, okay? So we have our completed first and second derivative tests, and that's actually awesome because if you actually think about it, on the ones that we had the equation, that's actually the point that we're trying to get to. So they took out all the steps. So we don't need our original equation. We don't need our first derivative equation. We don't need our second derivative equation, because the only reason that we used them was to do these tests, right? To do these tests. But the tests are already done for us, so we don't need them. We also are given a few other things. So we're given a pond at point 1, 2. I know that looks like a 1, but 1, 2. So that's point 1, 2. And we're also given a line at x equals 2. That is an asymptote. So let me just draw it in darker here. There's our asymptote at x equals 2. And biggest thing for these is I don't get points taken off for this. You have your x and y that are on the graphs. Make sure you label them when you're making a graph. Anytime you make a graph tomorrow, x and y go on the axes. Okay, so we can just start now, and we can just start trying graph based off our first and second derivative tests. So we know that from here to here, we have a positive slope concave up. So it's going to look like this, right? And then from here to here, we have a negative slope concave down. So it's going to look something like this. And voila, that's our shark fin. And we can just double check, because we know that the shark fin has a pond, and that happens to be at negative 1, 2, which is exactly what we set up here was our pond. So there we go. So now we can go to the other side of the asymptote. So when the x value is greater than 2, so we look here, we got a negative slope and a concave up because it's positive. So negative, let's see, it would be like this. And there we go. That's easy. Short video, just going over the graphing. It's really no different than what we did with the other equations. It's just the work's already done for us. So it might seem too simple to be true, but they already did 99% of the work for us. We just got to graph it now. And the biggest things, you're not going to know exactly. This could look like this. This could look like this. Just don't make it look like this when you do it, because then that's a turning point. That's a no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just make it look like that. Okay. That would be our concave up, right? Because pointing this way, concave up, right? Concave up, points up. This is pointing up. So yeah, what other things could I touch on this? There's not really a lot to talk about for this. I just wanted to show you, just so you know, for tomorrow. Yeah, that should be it. Just biggest thing, don't get freaked out when you see it. It is really that easy. It's all the work is done for you. All the hard work is done for you. Now you just graph it. And I just x, y, do not forget the x and y on your graph. I think this is the third time I'm saying it, fourth time maybe? Possible it's the fourth time. But other than that, I'm going to close this video out. Just keep it short. And then obviously we can write our intervals of increase, decrease, but I mean, that's all, we've done that before. It's the same steps as before. We can tell that there's no turning points, right? Because our only point is here that turns, and that's a pond. We could tell that there are no points of inflection because the only 2 points on the second derivative test, right? Because that's where our points of inflection come from, are -1, and that's a pond, and 2, and that's an asymptote. So we have no points of inflection. Okay. So that's awesome. And that is just about all you can get out of these questions. Just nice and simple. It's should be a free 10, 15 points, whatever it is tomorrow. Just knock that out of the park. And besides that, good luck.